When the Tide Turns. Because we're a storytelling species, I want to tell you a couple stories. One is from the Bible, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but there's a paraplegic or a paralyzed person, whatever, and he was waiting to be healed. And apparently there were some healing waters, and everybody jumped into the healing waters, and the person that needed to be healed just stayed there without going into the water or being asked to be helped into the water or whatever. And they said to him, "Why aren't you going into the water or getting helped into the water? Because you need this more than anyone." And he said, "My faith is very strong. If these are true healing waters, it'll still be ready for me after, everybody else has gotten out and it's less crowded." And basically, that to me is a story, and I'm forgetting the other story right now, it might come to me, of like timing. We all have a time and a place. I mean, the reason why people are more or less successful sometimes, I remember the second story. The second story is that they say that people that are most successful in poker are the ones that fold. I mean, there's probably some bluffing also, but generally they only lose a small amount of money on the hands they have bad, and they win a huge amount of money on the hands they're good. And sometimes they wait. Obviously you can't just wait only for one good hand, otherwise everybody will know when you have it. But be that as it may, as the saying goes, the idea is that you have to roll with the tide, as they say in the Alabama Crimson. You have to bide your time and know when the time is right. Like that expression, strike while the iron is hot. The reason why successful people are successful is because they don't force things. There's a famous expression in baseball, "Let the game come to you." Like, one thing that has been all the difference for me is that more confident people let life come to them. Like, I used to always try to convince people, force things. It never worked. It's hard to be patient enough, like that person, waiting to be healed. When it's your time, you'll know. You have to take massive action in life, but it has to be inspired action. Like, if you're just working for the sweat of your brow, then it's kind of like struggle. Struggle doesn't win. Only inspired action wins. Like, you can take massive action when you feel like a sense of inspiration. I mean, in Christianity, they call it, I think, anointing, or it's related. That when the anointing is on you, it's your time, and you can do amazing things. There's other times when it's better just to save your strength and relax, because it's not people that are in perpetual motion that are effective. It's people that are inspired action that are effective. I mean, like they say, never mistake activity for progress. And there's a difference between running a marathon on the road and running a marathon on a treadmill. When you run a marathon on the road, you cover 26 miles. But when you run a marathon on a treadmill, you cover 0 miles, because it's like you're in the same place as what you started. And a lot of people, because they're not willing to wait until the tide turns, they're running marathons on a treadmill. It's like they're wearing themselves out. I mean, I'm not saying you can't get great exercise on a treadmill, but you're not going to get a credit for a marathon on a treadmill. If you want to actually accomplish things in the world, you have to do them, when the time is right to do them. You can't just say, well, I'm stuck in my room in a treadmill, I'll just do a marathon here and get, and win the Boston Marathon. It doesn't work that way. You have to be smart about things, like you have to wait until it's your time, and you have to know when it's better to just wait. Waiting is hard. Like Siddhartha, they asked him what his superpower was. They didn't use the word superpower, but he said, "I can wait." Waiting really is a superpower, because when it's not your time, only confident people can wait. Like, people that are not confident, they're like, "I gotta rush in, I gotta do it now," this, that, there's a difference between bold and reckless. And it is true that there's a time to let things happen and there's a time to make things happen, but The time to make things happen is when you feel inspired action, because then life, the universe, your subconscious, whatever you want to call it, I mean, it could be some or all of those, it's propelling you because the most information is there that the action is going to be beneficial. Like when you feel inspired, it's kind of like that's what they call a state of flow. You just go effortlessly. When you try to force things and you don't let life come to you, that's when you're running on the treadmill. So the tide turns when it's your time. And when it's your time, nobody can stop you. But when it's not your time, I did a podcast once, I talked about like trying to do things without inspired action is like trying to shoot baskets with a lid on the basket. It doesn't matter if you're Steph Curry, you're not going to score any points, with the lid on the basket. When it's not your time, you're just not going to do it. It doesn't matter how much you try to force it. Like, if the person doesn't love you, they don't love you. If the job doesn't want you, they don't want you. It's not a matter of effort. It's a matter of being in the right place at the right time and doing things in the right way when it's meant to be done.